Hey everybody, I am Dr. Duke, and this is the Dr. Duke Show, and we're really glad to have with us on the line right now Linda Goudsmit. She is a remarkable political analyst. She is a concerned citizen. She's a writer of a very high caliber, and she is one of the most concerned people about the future of this country that I have the privilege to talk to. Linda, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here.
We love having you as well. And you write some really fascinating, and you get your thumb right on the heart of what the problem is. Talk about your latest contribution here. Words matter, so do accurate posting dates. Talk to us about this piece of work.
Well, this is a really big deal for me. Since the 2020 election, a great deal has been written about information, disinformation, and misinformation. But very little attention is being paid to what I consider the newest threat in the information wars, and that is the omission of the year in online posting dates. So, okay, we live in the 21st century age of digitized, computerized information technology. And in the beginning, the articles posted online followed established journalistic practices and journalism's classic 5W plus H formula. And what that means is the articles answered 6 questions. The 5 W's were who, what, when, where, and why. And the H is how. So today, online journalism is eliminating the when. So I began asking the question, why? And you see, print journalism has a date line that appears on the first line of an article before the text. And it follows the month, day, year convention. And it refers to when the article was filed or written, and it gives historical context to the information. And this is really a big deal. In online reporting, especially blogs and websites, the date line often refers to the posting date. Okay, that's fine. But in the summer of 2022, I began noticing the year was missing in the date line. And sometimes the date, it was presented as a useless and ridiculous 3 hours ago or 3 days ago. And at first, my civilized mind, I assumed it had to be a typo. But soon I realized that there was a change to the default date convention. And this is a very big deal for researching and historical accuracy. So I lodged my first complaint directly with WordPress on June 4th, 2022. Now, WordPress is the free and open source content management system used by almost half of the top 10 million websites. So it's used a lot. It was founded by a guy named Matt Mullenberg in 2003. So this is what I sent. I'm going to read this to you. I am a researcher, author, and political analyst. It is absolutely maddening that articles are being published with a date that does not include the year. Every event happens within its historical context. 3 hours ago, or 3 days ago, or 3 months ago is absolutely meaningless without the year. Equally meaningless is April 10th. If the article has been saved and used for reference 2 years after the publication date, information is rendered useless without an accurate publishing date that must include the year. Please address this extremely exasperating error on all platforms you service. The problem is becoming ubiquitous. So I received an answer from WordPress.com, which is the hosting version of WordPress. Okay, this is their message. Are you ready for this? Hi there. Your support request has been submitted to our team of happiness engineers. Rest assured that your email arrived safely, and our support team will be in touch as soon as we can. If you have any details or happen to find the answer yourself in the meantime, just reply to this email directly to keep us updated. Additionally, you might want to check our daily webinars and our support documentation. Thank you for your patience. We'll be in touch soon. Honestly, Duke, I couldn't believe it, but I noticed immediately that at the very bottom of this annoying, touchy-feely happiness engineer team response, there was the name Automatic. And it was misspelled, Automatic. At least I assumed it was a misspelling at first. But I looked into it and I thought, what is that? Why is that word there? And I discovered that Automatic was founded by a guy, Matt Mullenweg, and it is the parent company of WordPress. And WordPress is the platform designer. So I sent Automatic customer service the same exact complaint, and I got this answer. Okay, you ready for this? Oh, by the way, it's not a typo, the double T's. It's a play on the word Matt from Matt Mullenweg. So, okay, fine. But this, you got to hear this. I'm going to read this to you. This is the response I get. Hi there. Thank you for reaching out. We can't. Now, mind you, can't, that word is not operational here, but that's the one that jumped out at me. We can't forcefully show the dates of all posts as this is up to the site owner. The default blog page of WordPress.com sites does show the date of the post with its year. With that said, some themes don't offer that option by default, in which case we do have a custom block the site owner can add to their post named Post Date Block to solve this. Please let us know how we can assist you further. I mean, it's unbelievable. Now they're blaming the site owners for not putting in the default date, okay? So then Automatic asked me to rate their customer service. That's always a big mistake, but I did. And I explained how the absence of the year violates every principle of legitimate journalism. And there is no acceptable reason for WordPress to not include the year as its default setting. Now, my experience with WordPress Automatic mirrored my experience with Substack. And Substack is considered the, quote, alternative platform for authors with opposing points of view. And my complaints received a similarly patronizing response from Substack. And that was very, very disturbing to me. And my civilized mind was having a great deal of difficulty processing that this new posting date convention deliberately omitted the year and the date.
Linda.
Yeah.
No, this is a fantastic work you're doing. Let me ask you, what would be the $60,000 question? Why do you think, in your civilized mind, which is bigger than most people's, why is it that, what's the alternative, what's the real reason this is happening in your mind?
Well, that I discovered when I started following the money, because I'm a businesswoman and I always follow the money. And once I started doing that, I am now convinced that this ubiquitous online date convention that omits the year is intentional. So, okay, this is what I did. WordPress.com is the largest WordPress installation in the world, and it's owned and managed by Automatic, founded by Matt Mullenweg, okay? The top 3 institutional investors in Automatic are Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street, the usual suspect. Mm-hmm. And the reason this is so important is that between them, they control $20 trillion in assets. And as investment managers, they are the tip of the globalist spear because they no longer operate on the traditional profit and loss standard of investing. They have shifted their investment model to comport with their globalist ideology. And what this means is that they have politicized $20 trillion of investments to meet their globalist objectives, which are the Great Reset and establishing the managerial unistate, where you will own nothing and be happy. Now, I say this over and over and over again until I'm blue in the face. Globalism is the existential enemy of national sovereignty and freedom in our constitutional republic. Globalists believe in one world, planetary governance. They envision a global managerial state that they themselves manage. And of course, manage is just another word for control. We're talking about totalitarian control, Duke. So Substack, then I looked into Substack, okay, and this is unbelievable. Following the money, right? According to its own website, Substack was founded in 2017, is based in San Francisco, and backed by institutional investors Andreessen Horowitz, Y Combinator, 50 Years, and other great investors. Now, let's talk about Sam Altman for a second. He is the current CEO of the globalist corporation OpenAI, which he co-founded with Elon Musk in 2015. Now, Sam Altman was president of Y Combinator from 2014 to 2019. And remember, Y Combinator was an investor in Substack, right? Okay. So under Altman's leadership, OpenAI received a $1 billion investment from none other than globalist, transhumanist, eugenicist Bill Gates and at Microsoft in 2019. Okay. Now, an analysis of Substack's finance was written by a guy named Brian Dean. It was posted January 5th, 2022. So this is current information, okay? His report is absolutely stunning. The article is titled Substack User and Revenue Statistics 2022. And this is what it reports. Substack launched in 2017 as a tool for starting paid email newsletters. It began with 25,000 subscribers, and as of January 2022, has 500,000 paying subscribers. Substack was valued at $48.65 million in July of 2019. Its current value is $650 million. And Substack's top 10 authors collectively make over $20 million per year. So the growth of Substack has been staggering. And it is my opinion that Substack is a colossal bait and switch. So, I mean, think about this. Authors are invited onto this alternative platform with its profitable fee-based subscription option, but the posting year is omitted as the default setting. And it appears to me that globalist institutional investors in online platforms are making it intentionally difficult to accurately research subjects with alternative views, and are simultaneously monopolizing and curating the distribution of information. So, in the short view, political analysts on Substack and WordPress platforms believe they have marvelous, profitable platforms to express their views. But in the long view, omitting the posting year makes their information confusing and irrelevant, and helps the institutional investors eliminate information that opposes their globalist agenda and corporate interests, whether in medicine, politics, education, the economy, or anything else. Now, the social engineers driving the war on America and on humanity are sociopaths and megalomaniacs, Duke, but they are skilled strategists. And omitting the posting year is a significant tactical maneuver in their overall strategic plan. the omission compromises the information so that researchers can't state with certainty the facts necessary to make a case in opposition to current approved political narratives. And without an accurate reference, the omission creates a political vacuum for validating information. So the last thing I want to say is, if the schemers prevail, the Great Reset will not only reset the economic clock to zero, it also resets the historical clock to zero. The globalists will achieve totalitarian control of the information, past, present, and future. It's diabolical.
In the one more minute, if you have time for it, what would you recommend as we wind this down? What can people do to be aware and to try to fight back?
I think the most important thing that people can do is recognize we are a world at war. This is not funny. This is very serious, and they need to understand the severity of removing a year date. So the most important thing would be that authors on Substack, there's tons of them, demand that the year be put in. And if the platforms won't do it, let them do it themselves. Write a dateline. You don't have to be a genius to do that.
Linda, how can viewers find more of your wonderful content? How can they read more of what you're writing?
Oh, well, all my writing is available on my websites, pundicity.com and lindagoudsmit.com. And
well, thank you so much.
Archived there.
This is a very serious issue, and I think you've tapped into something that is absolutely true, how the global elites are manipulating every aspect of our culture, particularly online, because when the hammer drops, it's going to be really stunningly dangerous. So it's
an information war. It's an information about everything, about education, which you talk about all the time. That's part of the information war. Political medicine is part of the information war. There's so many tentacles, and it can only be stopped if people understand we are a world at war. And we're going to lose this war if people don't wake up.
We're going to have you back again to continue this conversation. It's critical.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time today. And please, please stay well and keep writing what you're writing. We'll make sure we cover it.